Come back, Alexis.
So are we going to talk about nursing homes and how we can still hang on to our money and still get properly taken care of?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people come in asking me, my mother needs to go to a nursing home. How do we not lose everything to the nursing home?
Huge question.
That's
all the
I
time. Yeah.
get that all the time. So we could have a 6-hour class on this topic. So let's do what we can.
10 minutes.
So the most important thing is to understand the ground rules, and then we can talk about what an attorney who understands the regulations can do to sort of advance beyond the ground rules. Mm-hmm. So if you're a married couple, let's say he's going to the nursing home. We're going to pick on the guys. So if he's going to the nursing home and she's still at home, there's a married couple. What's going to happen, again, these are the ground rules. He needs to medically need to be in the nursing home, and he can only have $2,000 to his name. Everything else we give to her. She can have about $120,000 in the bank and the house. The house is its own thing. So any cash, IRAs, CDs, money markets, all that, savings bonds, that's $120,000, and she can have the house. He only has $2,000. His income, so his Social Security, his pension, those are going with him to the nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
So she is now running a house on just her income, essentially. His income is going with him to the nursing home. And then the way the nursing home gets paid is his Social Security, his pension, whatever income he has, and then Mass Health pays the rest of the bill. So that's how the nursing home gets paid. So I'm sorry, I should back up. I skipped a big step there. So somebody who's going to a nursing home, at the beginning, usually Medicare is paying. So you fall, you break a hip, you go to hospital, you have surgery, you go to rehab. Those couple of weeks that you're rehabbing, Medicare is paying. So Medicare is what we all get when we turn 65. And then Medicare only pays 80% of the bill, so everybody also has a Blue Cross, a Tufts, a Vanguard that pays 20%. So that's taking care of your first couple of weeks in nursing home. So when people say, my mother's going to the nursing home, how do we not lose all of our money? You're talking about somebody who's there to stay, somebody who's staying in the nursing home. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you could privately pay, and sometimes someone will come into my office, and if we think mom is going to die soon, we say it is not worth the headache, the pain, the money that you're going to have to pay to do a Mass Health application. Just privately pay. So sometimes private paying is the answer. But if somebody doesn't have the means to private pay, most especially where, again, let's pick on the guys. If he's going to be in a nursing home and the wife we think is fine and will be at home for a long time, we want to do whatever we can to make sure she holds on to money. She's going to need it if she's going to be living for another many years. So if that's the case, we work hard to get him onto Mass Health. So again, Medicare is what we all get at 65. Medicaid is the poverty program. Every state gives it its own name. In Massachusetts, we call it Mass Health. So if you're saying Medicaid, I'm saying Mass Health, we're both talking about the same thing.
Okay.
So again, for people who are going to the nursing home to stay, if private pay is not an option, most especially where you have a spouse at home, we don't want her private paying. We want her to hold on to her money. Then you turn to the state, to Mass Health, Medicaid, to pay the nursing home bill. So when we have that situation, he's in the nursing home. Again, his Social Security, his pension, whatever income he has goes with him to the nursing home, pays however much that is towards the bill. Mass Health pays the rest of the bill. So that's how the nursing home gets paid. She is still in her house. She's got her income. Mm-hmm. We've transferred the money to her. We've transferred the house to her. So in terms of money, she can only have it's about $120,000.
And nothing's in his name.
Nothing. No, we've taken everything out of his name. She can have about $120,000.
But they can still be married.
They can still be married. Yes, yes. So about $120,000. Oh, and if they have more than $120,000 in cash, a lot of people have heard that phrase "spend down." So that's when that's one of the tools in our toolbox. That's the most prominent tool in the toolbox in this case. We'll have her. This is the time to do the roof. If that boiler, they meant to replace it 5 years ago, they never did. Now's the time. Mass Health lets you spend down on useful, real items that you
Not
need.
vacations or
Not
cars.
and well, a car. Like I have a woman, her car was ancient. And it was just time to get a new car. And she went out and got a very reasonable, she got a Toyota. She didn't go out and get a Land Rover. So she got a Toyota. So you can get a car if it makes sense. So, but yeah, you're not out doing the vacations and buying the Land Rovers to spend down. So you can spend down to come down to that 120. And we transfer the house over to her. And now he's in the nursing home with only $2,000 in his bank account. And then what we do is we also, before we were talking about how we put plan Bs in place.
Right.
So what I also do is for the wife, now if she dies, this is a little quiz question. If she dies and he's still in the nursing home, where's her stuff going?
Right. To him.
To him. So we draft.
See, I'm listening.
So we draft a will for her that says, if I die first, essentially, and he's still living, don't give my assets to him. This is assuming they have children that they want to preserve assets for. If I die and he is still living and he's in the nursing home, don't give assets right to him. Instead, I'm going to have my executor hold on to those my assets, hold them in what we call a testamentary trust. Testamentary is just a fancy name for will. So it's a trust that we've buried inside the will. The Medicaid, the Mass Health statutes let us do this. He can inherit money from his wife so long as it's held inside this testamentary trust.
So there's a vehicle to do that.
There's a vehicle to, and again, the reason is because the nursing home, they're understaffed. So even though he's in the nursing home, he's going to probably need somebody to be, there are people who bring home health aides into the nursing home. There are people who bring a hospice team into the nursing home. There are people who hire geriatric care managers to keep an eye on what's going on with their father in the nursing home. So it's very good, even though, your parents in the nursing home and it's supposed to be wraparound care, the fact is they're understaffed and it's not. So it's good to still have that little pot of money on the side to pay for things that he might need that nursing home would provide if they were fully staffed, but they're not. So that's an example of something people can do. And if somebody either is in the nursing home or if they're saying, well, down the road, I think my husband might need nursing home, then we'll put testamentary trust in place. Another thing that can happen, people might come in and say, my husband's going to a nursing home. I'm scared that I'm going to lose my money and I have this special needs child. What do I do?
Oh, wow.
So
I can see how things get very complex
very
quickly.
complex and emotional. And then, so that there's Mass Health also lets a parent into the nursing home and they can give all of their money, no limit, a zillion dollars to their special needs child, to a certain type of trust built for a special needs child, and Mass Health will take that parent and pay for them to be in the nursing home.
Okay.
And the rationale is pretty clear. The state is going to be paying for that child either way, so why not let the parents set money aside to I think from the state's point of view, maybe keep so the child will need less from us in the future. But
So there's a lot of scenarios in this.
There's a lot of scenarios that come up. There's no one answer that works for everybody. It's really a matter of going in, seeing an elder law attorney, and understanding for my family and my situation what is the right.
This must take some time to understand. This is complex when you start.
There's a lot of moving parts. It's sort of like a chess game or a puzzle. And, you push on this piece over here and it affects this piece over here.
I can see why people give you hugs.